Alright then. At this point, my fortress will be more or less getting, like, you know, built. But more importantly, I'm going to be making my way down to the south of the map. And we'll see what's in store for us. Alright then, so I'll note that the main, like, you know, idea I want to go for right here, I think. Well, maybe, like, kill, like, Sitlali here. And outside of that, we're basically going to, like, you know, explore down here, of course, as well. I'm wondering if I want to go to, like, the mountain pass base to get this done, or if I want to, like, go down to here is a thing. I think for now we're just going to go for, you know, as far down as we can for now, just sort of, like, you know, do that. Do. Resources. I never find any oil, but whatever. I'm always looking for it. We'll make camp here, I guess. Now, I'll note by the way at this point, since basically I've like got like, you know, more oil, we basically do a little bit more like, you know, tinkering. I could make another lantern, but maybe we'll make some cannonballs instead. Will be the plan for now. I got 5 cannonballs, get a couple more maybe if I can. Go from there. Just passing through cities left and right here. Actually, before I leave here, I'm actually wondering if I should trade a little bit of like medicine for rations if I can, so this would not be a place to do it, but whatever. We'll check out the farm. Alright, animal herd. We'll send a servants to help get some extra meat. That's always useful. Yeah, these guys have a low supply medicine, so maybe I'll do that. Well, let's go for 10, I think. I'm not sure those are like great prices, so we'll pay 7 for 10 there. Let's do a little bit of check basically, see like what the prices are like and such. Whoa, broken axle. Guess we're gonna camp here, cause oh well, that's a thing. I guess there's no tinkering for cannonballs because we're out of, like, you know, material for it, so that's the thing as well. Yeah, that happened. This game can be buggy, as you can see. But that's fine. We got bugs. Alright, so still preposterous prices here in Tenochtitlan, so that's good to know. Apparently we got expensive prices here now. And I guess I'm waiting for experience here, so that's the thing as well, so whatever. Let's keep going down. You know, while we're basically going down here, I'll note something about, like, you know, Spanish conquest in the Americas. As you probably know from history, Hernandez Cortez basically, you know, he conquered the Aztec people. And if you don't know basically how he did it, he basically allied himself with, like, the enemies of, like, the Aztecs and helped bring them down that way. And, you know, then, like, you know, Spain came in and, like, ruled them all. Always fun. But I'll note that there's, like, also the Mayans on, like, you know, the southeast down there. And they were actually there during the time of, like, you know, Hernandez Cortez. They were also quite an issue for him as well, because unlike the Aztecs, they weren't, like, united, so each individual Mayan city had to be, like, you know, conquered or, like, you know, pacified, so it's a great deal, like, you know, harder to do than, like, conquering the Aztecs, the Mayans, and all that. Anyhow, there's a little bit of a tidbit for you as we sort of, like, make our way down here. Ah, perfect curbs. There's a care marker over there as well, apparently. I'm not sure I'm going to walk through that rock, but okay. That's a thing. You get to do some more herbalism, I guess. Well, we're in a jungle now, so it'll be a little bit easier to hunt for food and such. Ooh, watering hole over here. I'm tempted to go there, just for, you know, the sake of it, so let's get over here. Now, I believe like these are like the mountains that we're in right now, so we're gonna start to have like a different, like, you know, area to go through at least, finally. Yeah, we're trying the mountains again. I think we're actually not missing anything over here, so let's go this way, I guess, into the mountains. And I could explore the nearby caverns, but, you know, we don't really need metal, so why not? We'll do it anyways. Explore nearby caverns. And let's get some metal. That's, you know, basically what we always get, but whatever. So I'll note that over here we're gonna find some like special events, and there'll be like another like sort of like, you know, what the heck's over here? Ah, European cavern in the middle of the mountains, deep in the continent. That makes sense. I don't remember this, but, you know, there's a whole lot I basically remember of this game anyway, so that's fine. Ooh, found some valuables. Alright, so ship in the trees. You're making your way down the river as shocked gasps from your expedition members turn your attention toward a Spanish ship suspended at the top of the trees near the opposite bank. You can't possibly imagine what could have happened to get it up there, but your people seem eager to investigate. Well, let's cross the river and see what's going on. You find a place where the current is fairly weak and quickly construct a makeshift raft. Then you and some of your people cross and make your way through the dense undergrowth towards the ship. On the ground beneath the ship lie several shattered boxes of barrels that must have once contained supplies for an expedition. An old rope descends from one of the ship's rafters, and you think it might support the weight of a person. So you can send one of your people, you can like climb the rope yourself, all this other stuff. Let's send Reina here. See, Capitan, I'll go and search the ship. Reina Portanas carefully climbs the rope and enters the ship. It's slightly slanted but sufficiently upright to stand on the deck. The scout breaks open the door to the door hold and disappears inside. Wait. Long moments pass while you wait for word from above. Then you finally catch sounds of struggle coming from what must have been the captain's cabin. Portanas crashes out through the window, trailing a bag of valuable items and with an enormous constrictor snake around her neck. Her scout training immediately kicks in, and she manages to grab hold of some of the vines on the way down, landing surprisingly well, with nothing but a sprained ankle to show for the long fall. You hurry to her aid and remove the snake. After checking the contents of the bag to see what Portanas found, you return to your raft and rejoin your expedition. So, there we go. We got a few valuables, we got some experience, and Portanas gets, you know, a little fracture, but it's, you know, par for the course. Adventuring, you know, it's a thing. Oh, there's another Karen. Now, I know that big part of this is just like, you know, mapping around, like, you know, looking for stuff, so I figured, you know, looking at this to see if I'm missing anything. Alright, Ray needs to get healed now, but that's fine. You'll be treated, that's fine. I want you to go back to hunting, and I'll note by at this point, basically, like, you know, we're in the mountains, so a little difficulty for guarding, but, you know, high difficulty for, like, everything else. I guess we want to have you do some patrolling. And Barry, you can do some hunting. Ooh, we got some equipment. I didn't realize that, but apparently Barrow needs to have some more equipment on her, so that's a thing. There we go. Yeah, it's gonna give this guy some, you know, stuff here as well, why not? We're almost basically up to 600 experience, so that's cool. I'll note up there's a temple, but I'm just going to avoid it for now and, like, you know, essentially look for, like, you know, other objects of worth. Nice. Herbs. Raina's back on her feet. There we go. Make our way back over here a little bit. I'm tempted to get that supplies, but I'm going to leave it there, I think. It's probably just going to be like metal and stuff like that again, and, you know, I'll go off the beaten path for stuff like that, but, you know, not that far off. You can go do it, I guess. There's a cairn. So I got like 5 more of these basically to find, so quite a few of them to find, but whatever, it's fine. Yay, pigs! Then I ran out of moves. Oh well. You can do some more patrolling. Oh, can I get to it? I can. Another car nearby, always good to see. A decorated grave. A beautifully decorated tombstone marks the grave site. Its intricate carvings span its full circumference, but the stone has crumbled in places and has been toppled by erosion of the ground. The text is written with carefully chiseled calligraphy. Pick up the grave. Oh, we lost some morale. You zoom the very corpse. The skull of the person is rotted and filled with maggots. Is quite disgusting. Oh, that's always fun. Yeah, I was able to make out that grave because, you know, it was right next to the herb, so... I just got a glimpse of it. Very nice. I'm starting to make a little bit more food again, at least. That's nice to see. Let's do that. Actually, at this point, I'm going to note, by the way, I'm going to start probably, you know, saving up a little bit of, like, herbs, just, like, you know, for a rainy day, so... Alright, the treasure hunters. As you settle down to rest, you hear rustling coming from the trees outside of the clearing you set up camp in. Your men raise their weapons as whatever is approaching comes closer to the edge of the clearing. Finally, after a moment of tense waiting, a ragtag group of 4 Spaniards push their way out to the forest. Your men visibly relax, but keep their weapons raised. Although not heavily injured, the men look haggard and weak. At their sides hang swords and arquebuses, and 2 of the men are carrying a chest between them. You spy a glint of gold from a jar from the jar lid. The leader of the men steps forward to speak. Ah, thank God, we found someone at last. Please, senor, we need help. Alright, what can I do for you, senor? And odd that you should happen to wander into my camp, tell me who you are. Speak quickly, if you take one more step, I'll have my men run you through, blah blah. What can I do for you, senor? The men are visibly put at ease by your friendly tone. My name is Claudio Asturias. I am leader of this party. We came to the mainland from Santo Domingo not long ago. We stopped off at Fortaleza de Gutares and there headed out. We had heard from someone at the fortress of an abandoned temple nearby which held treasure left behind by savages who saw no value in it. And? We don't know the land well, senorita. On our return we accidentally went off the path and became lost. We found the path again, eventually, but by then we had wasted several days. We don't have enough rations to make it all the way back. We were sure we were going to die out here. Thank God we found you. Please, senorita, if you could spare a few days' worth of rations so we could get home, we would be eternally grateful. So give 16 rations, send away, attack them. Claudio gestures at the chest held by his companions. The gold glints invitingly. They don't look like they'd be able to put up a fight if you decide to take it for yourself. We can pay you from our treasure, of course, as thanks. Not too much, though. We don't want this whole endeavor to be pointless. Please, senor, just a little food. Alright, we'll do that. So, basically, altruistic followers gain some morale, greed followers don't. A little bit of values for it. Thank you, senorita, thank you. We will not forget this. Please, take this with our thanks. So, Claudio hands a modest pile of gold. Thank you again, senorita. I hope we will see you again. Incognito's. Incognito's. Claudio and his men quickly hurry off without looking back. You hear them clumsily stumble through the woods as you settle back down at the campfire. So, treasure hunters! You know, I'm not sure, but I think like when I was initially doing this, I was gonna be like a hostile like venture, but that was like 3 years ago or 5 years ago, whatever. When I first recorded the other Hispano episode. I don't feel like being hostile, so I won't be. And yeah, I got enough medicines here that I'm pretty good that I can leave them to be and to stock up some herbs, I think. So that's the plan right now. Hunting, hunting, hunting. Oh, the trading post has opened up. Hey, I got some oil as well. Awesome. Ah. Well, there's some valuables over here. I'll note that there's like these hidden paths you go down to get stuff. One's gonna have like an event in it. I was hoping to find right away for you guys, so I'll note that I'm basically hoping to find like a specific event right now, so hope I'll find soon. A bit more gold. We'll get to that one later. I don't like how low our rations are sort of getting here, but if I need to, let's have pull more guys basically do some hunting and such. In fact, I could probably just do that right now. So Isabel, you can do some hunting. I guess we're apparently up to 88%. Actually, you know what? That's not really that good of a gain. So we'll leave her just doing that. Ooh, we still lost valuables, but whatever. We got lots of meat. Actually, I should go back and get this before I forget it, so get that now. There's some nearby caverns, but we'll just leave them alone, I think. Preserving. You're gonna make another cannonball, I think. And you can do some preserving. Oh, river gold again, so get some gold again. More valuables to be found. Just a relaxing, walk through the mountains here. So far. Yes, come this way, piggy. Oh, there we go. We're gonna find someone soon. And preserve this time around, I guess. Bit more equipment, always nice to see. I just realized I have over 600 experience, by the way. So I'll note this point. I was gonna see basically if I could put up some of the sergeant, I guess it was. I can only have a max of 1 lieutenant, but a max of 3 officers, right? Currently, right now, I know that Rain is basically my lieutenant. Yabar is basically a sergeant. I should have another sergeant here, so maybe I'll make Martinez here a sergeant. Will be a plan. Since I can't really save up for lieutenant, I was get another sergeant. So let's see here. So I'm wondering if it'd be a good idea to get her to be a sergeant, or it might be a better idea get perhaps Bedell to be a sergeant. But I guess we'll go with her. So you basically have Opportunist Strider. What do I want to get her for her final skill here, I guess. might get her adrenaline junkie because that'll make her like, a lot more like, deadly because, when she gets low on HP, she's like, hits really hard. Bloodthirsty would be good to get for her because then, she gets more damage when it kills people. And she'll do a lot of damage for, her pole axe, so that's a thing for her. Keen Eye is also pretty good. Sneak Attack's also pretty good. As to Suck It Up. I think we're going to go with Bloodthirsty though. So you know what, I actually do want to show off like all the stuff, so you know what, we are going to go for the other one. Let's go for Adrenaline Junkie so I can show it off. And there we go. We'll give her maybe some more... I don't know why I'm lost is like, if you're narcissist, it might be a thing, but whatever, we'll see. Let's get a little bit of hunting for her, I think. We only really need more, like, patrolling at this point. Ah, yes, this guy's basically a narcissist, so he doesn't like when other people get promoted over him, so... That's the only thing you know about this guy, I guess, but that's fine. Let's get over here. And here we go. Event. Sun Pillar 2. The pillar is surrounded by engraved glyphs. It seems to be chronicling an event. We'll get to that in a moment. Let's just go to the other ones first. Sun Pillar 1. So, blah blah. Let's try and translate this glyph. With the help of Patley, you are able to make sense of the engravings. It seems to tell the story of a creation of the first world. From the void, the first world was created. The gods created waters, the mountains, the forests, and the animals. But a hungry sea monster consumed their creation, and all their work was for naught. The gods had to make war against the monster, and after an endless struggle, they were at last victorious. The gods recreated the world on top of the great beast, and the first people were formed to populate the new world. But the world was in darkness, as there was no light in the universe. Nothing could live, and nothing could grow without it. The great god of the north, Tezcatlipoca, saw this and sacrificed himself to become the first sun. This sparked the start of the first age, and it was a prosperous time. The people thrived and revered their gods, but this would not last, as the gods were fickle and quick to anger. The first sun was destroyed by a rivalry among the gods, and in his rage, Tezcatlipoca commanded the Tehuti to eat all the people in the world. Thus ended the first age of the sun. Alright, so basically it's like these are like the glyphs for like, it's Aztec mythology, I guess. With the help of Kikimia, you were able to make sense of the engravings. It seems to tell a story of the creation of the second world. From the void, the first world was created. The gods created waters, the mountains, and the forests, and the animals. But a hungry sea monster consumed their creation, and all was for naught. This seems like a repeat of the last time, but whatever. So there's like the great god, there's like the end of the first age. Alright, interesting. Let's go over here then. So here's the third pillar. Try to translate the glyphs. The Patley helps us again with the creation of the third world. As the world was again plunged into darkness, the great god Tlaco sacrificed himself to become the third sun. The people populated the earth once more, but their fate was, as always, at the mercy of the gods. When Tlaco's wife was stolen from him, he turned into despair, and a great drought followed, as no rain fell on the soil. The people begged him for rain, but in his grief-stricken rage, Tlaco made it rain fire, reducing all life in the world to ashes. As the world burned to cinders, Kvako rescinded his position as solar god, and thus ended the third age of the sun. So I guess like this is like a broken glyph over here, because you know it's telling us the first age instead of like the second age. So, oh well. Or maybe not. Alright, so here we go. After the first age, the world was thrown into darkness, and no life could exist. Quetzalcoatl, the god of wind, saw this plight and sacrificed himself to become the second sun. The people populated the earth once again, and all was well in the second age of the sun. But the people became rebellious, and stopped worshipping the gods. The gods in turn became wrathful at this lack of veneration, and as punishment they turned the people into apes, as they had become nothing more than animals in their eyes. Quetzalcoatl was filled with grief, as he loved his flawed people, and in his despair he summoned a hurricane that blew all the apes from the surface of the earth. Filled with sorrow, Quetzalcoatl stepped down from the as Lord of Sun, thus ending the second age of the sun. Darkness enveloped the world once more. So, basically, in the first age, there's like a sea monster, and like it destroyed their first creation, and then like they tried populating, and like there's darkness, so like sun became a sun. This guy basically the people stopped worshiping him, so they became wrathful, took vengeance for him. Over here, like the third thing here, we have the story of a lower basically gone, wrath following as a result. Sun Pillar 4. Let's try and translate the glyphs once more. Together with Kamehameha, you set about interpreting the engravings. It seems to tell a story of the creation of the fourth world. After the third age, no light shone on the world. The beautiful goddess, Kalkuku, took charge and sacrificed herself to become the fourth sun. Kalkuku shone brightly in the sky, her jade skirt giving warmth and light to the people who once more thrived on earth. She was as loving as she was loved, and the fourth age of the sun was a bountiful age. But this could not last, and the gods grew jealous at her adoration. They accused her of deceiving her people, alleging that her kindness was dishonest and that she egotistically acted only to receive praise. Upon hearing this, Kakishila was so heartbroken by their accusations that she cried blood for half an age, drowning all the creatures on Earth. As she could no longer bear the allegations against her, she returned to Earth, thus ending the fourth age of the sun. So, the gods are being their thing. And alright, so we got a few things over here. The Gilded Gate left wall. The walls on the left side of the Mouse's gates are adorned with 4 marvelous engravings, each shimmering with gold. Examine the first engraving. Depicted as a fabulous young boy, adorned with golden skirt and jade jewelry. He is described as Zafili, the Flower Prince, god of art, games, and dance. He is sitting in a bed full of the most exquisite flowers your eyes have ever seen. You can see a beautiful woman engraved out of the glittering collection of gemstones, her skirt adorned with numerous flakes of jade. She is described as Kakutu, the goddess of rivers and streams. Her face is adorned with a benevolent smile, with her eyes that seem to gently but sternly stare into your soul. Among her feet, you can see a wild stream of water, with waves of pearls splashing up against her legs. A dog-headed creature stares at you, reaching out towards you with his shrill, smiling hands. His fingers are chewed to the bone, and he wears jade-adorned plates on his knuckles. He holds his left hand in front of him, with the palm turned upwards, in a seemingly welcome gesture. He is described as Zlotlo, the guide of the dead. Among his feet you can see several dogs leading the souls to the final resting place. Engraved is a long-legged, muscular man with 2 stripes crisscrossing his chiseled face. One of the stripes is made of gold, while the other seems to be made of black pearls. He seems to have lost his left leg in battle, as it ends in a bloody jagged stump. In his left hand, he is brandishing a magnificent shield, and in the other, an absolutely monstrous, weapon. He is described as Tezcatlipoca, the Lord of North and God of Judgment, and is wearing a jaguar skin made purely out of precious gemstones. Beneath him you can see a large jaguar peering out from behind a god, legs tightly coiled and ready to pounce. Alright, here's the fourth engraving. That was the fourth engraving. Okay, so that's basically the fourth engraving right there. The Gilded Gate right wall. The walls on the right side of the massive gate are adorned with 4 marvelous engravings, each shimmering with gold. So here's the first engraving for this one. Alright, so the first engraving is horrific. A tall, blood splattered skeletal figure is extending his sharp, gangly fingers out towards you, as if it wants to tear you apart. In his eye sockets are 2 brilliant amethysts, glimmering in the sun, giving the illusions that his eyes are rapidly searching for something in your vicinity. The effect is unnerving. The depiction is adorned with a single necklace, which at closer inspection is made of human eyeballs. He is described as Mclickliku, Lord of the Dead, and ruler of the underworld. At his feet is a pile of human skulls, all staring intently towards you. Alright, so there's the God of the Dead. This is a depiction of a giant man, athletic and heavy set. He looks like he could crush a man's head in his fist. With his eyes set in the distance, he wears a brilliant helmet studded with colorful feathers and branches of a burning weapon in the shape of a snake in his colossal right fist. He is described as Huzapuko, the god of war and lord of Tenochtitlan. Among his feet flutter a couple of hummingbirds, made of a mother of pearl and jade. So, there's like the ruler, I guess. Here's a fair one. The engravings depict a man adorned with an elongated beaked mask. He is wearing a pair of serpentine jade bracers on his each arm, with feathers tightly clasped in a scaled fist. His entire body is covered in jade scales, and is clothed in medicinal robes made entirely out of seemingly incandescent metal. He is described as Quetzalcoatl, the god of wind and lord of the west. Beneath his waist, his legs are fused together into a scaly mass of serpents. And a fourth one. Before you stands a man with large circular eyes and a wide grin on of sharp fangs. Despite his fearsome visage, he has relaxed posture and does not seem like an aggressive sort. His body is fried in droplets made out of opals, and you barely make out the silvery lightning strikes in several places behind him. He is described as Tlaloc, god of rain and fertility. At his feet, the blue droplets intensify into glittering showers of rain. Alright, so basically there's like the pantheon of like the Aztecs. And at this point, you know what? We're going to save the game right here. Because we're about to go through the Gilded Gates. And I believe it's like a very special event because, if I recall correctly, this is where we get to like the very mythological parts of this game. So the Gilded Gate. Approaching the overgrown structure ahead, you find a towering wall blocking your path. The wall is adorned with murals and engravings depicting multiple anthropomorphic creatures. In the center of the wall, at the end of the road, an exorbitant gate is shining brightly in the sun. Though the massive structure is overgrown with vines and other plants, its walls still glitter with a golden sheen. The ground leaning under the gate in front of you bears traces of the same golden powder-like substances. The gate has multiple round protrusions on the surface, each adorned with a engraved picture. Above these pictures are more inscriptions. You can't see any way to open the gate, nor to scale the tall walls of the complex. So let's inspect the stuff. Here's the round protrusions. A slight prod on one of the protrusions revealed that you can easily slide them into the surface of the gate. It seems that they work as part of a mechanical device of sorts. There are 8 of these mechanisms, and they are each adorned with a unique engraved drawing. So, inspecting inscriptions or, blah blah. Inspecting inscriptions. With some help from your translators, you interpret the text on the wall. It reads thus: To be deemed worthy in the eyes of the god, one must feel the worth warmth of selfless sacrifices they have made for their sons and daughters. Repeat the order of all things and enter the guild city. Mercedes Valente nods sagely. Seems like a straightforward sort of test. We must somehow demonstrate our understanding of the native mythology. So basically, like, you know, you have to understand like how the mythology works. So have follow activate the mechanisms. Let's have Miguel do it. So Miguel Sicar eyes the wall skeptically. Alright, so obviously there's like a way of, like, you know, activating the gate here, so alright. Sorry, you got Jaguar, Waves, Dog, Flower, Skull, Raincloud, Snake, and Hummingbird. Alright, at this point I guess we have to sort of, like, you know, figure out what's going on here, so maybe it's like in order of, like, you know, what's on the wall here. Let's see. This is flowers. And then, you know, we got the Waves of Pearls, waves. Here's the dogs. And here's the jaguar. So there's, like, you know, the first, like, half of the wall. Alright, so we got, like, you know, over here. There's the skulls. The hummingbirds. There's, like, you know, the God of Wind and Lord of the West, so maybe that's the serpents. And we got, like, you know, the God of Rain and Fertility and stuff like that, so Rain and Fertility. Now, I'm probably guessing a couple of things here. It could be that we have to, like, you know, follow the story here for, like, you know, how basically stuff works here. So let's just have a look at the story here, I guess, first. So here we got basically, like, you know, the great god, you know, of the north, so this guy. So, Tesco. I think Tesco is over here. He's the jaguar, so what I'm going to do right now is going to put 1 by jaguar. I'm actually writing all this stuff right down. And it's going to, like, you know, gonna, like, you know, put like a 2 next one here, so Quetzalcoatl is basically God of Wind over here. So God of Wind. No. That's God of War. So this guy's a serpent. So serpent's basically 2. The jaguar is serpent. Here's, like, you know, Clackhawk, the, you know, God of Rain, I guess. There's, like, you know, God of Rain, Blackhawk, so that's number 3. And we got the 4th one, which is, of course, the god of, like, you know, beauty over here. And, of course, he's right here, so that's the waves. So I'm guessing it's either like a, you know, this is, like, you know, the pattern right down here, or it's basically, like, you know, how the wall stuff is depicted on the walls. I think what we're gonna do right now, let's just go with, like, you know, Jaguar. So Jaguar Stone slides into recession. Next we'll go with the Serpents, or Snake, I guess, over here. After that, let's go with the Rain of Fertility, so Rain Cloud. And then we'll go with Waves. And there we go, this opens up. So cool. Very, very simple test. When Miguel presses the fourth button, the rest of the buttons slide into the gate, and a loud creaking sound betrays the inner workings of the old machinery. Your procession takes a step back while the enormous door slides aside, with a lone groan, and reveals the entrance to a gleaming sea beyond. So, welcome all to the City of Gold. Oh, the accident. A scream forces its way through the humid air from the right flanker formation. So after asking people questions around what happened, if Van Swyck, you know, hit himself with a sack, so whatever. We'll deal with that. Probably missing a couple